All right, we are back at it again for another episode of Rap and Reason podcast. I am one of your hosts, Dr. Jeremy C. McCool.
And I'm Earl Hopkins. What's going on, man?
What's good, bro? Episode 17?
Yes, sir. Same old, man.
Yes,
I'm just
sir.
getting back from vacation, a mini vacation, more like a weekend getaway more than a vacation. I was in Orlando, Florida, in the
Nice.
world of Disney. It was cool, bro. Like Orlando, the city itself doesn't have like crazy culture, but like, when it comes to Disney World, you have Universal, you have SeaWorld, like the amusement parks, the theme parks, that is Orlando, in my opinion. Like that's Central Florida. Even with people I talked about who live there for 30 plus years in Orlando, they're like, don't worry about our food, don't worry about the club, nightlife scene, just go to Disney, bro. Just make your way there, Universal or whatever. So it was cool, man. It was good being out there. Just like a quick getaway to write this book, hammer that out.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, man, you need that refresher sometimes, bro. For real.
Absolutely. I plan on taking mine next week, man. I got to do a little getaway too. Get some of this writing done and just to reset, man. Sometimes it's important to reset.
100%. What did you do
Yeah.
this weekend, man? Talk to me.
Yes, sir, man. I so celebrated my birthday. So yeah, man. 31, which is a random age,
Random as
but,
heck.
but we made it. We made it.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a couple things, man. My girl definitely came through, man. She surprised me with dinner and cooked for me and all that stuff. She ended up taking me to something I know she didn't want to do, so I got to show her love for that because she took me to a haunted house, and I know she did not want to do this, but she knew that I rock with that type of stuff. So yeah, man, it was real dope. So yeah, nothing too crazy. Haunted house. She cooked, and then my boy Cassius, man. Shout out to Cassius. Shout out to a WWE group called Street Profits, man. They came through with some tickets, man, for a WWE match. I had never been to see WWE ever, but this was like, and I ain't watched wrestling since I was like 12, so I didn't even know half these people who was up there. But
Right.
90% of the people who were up there, I had no idea who they were. But
Mm.
but it was a dope experience, man. Extremely dope. We had floor seats, so we got to feel important up in there. You know what I'm saying? It was cool. Um, it's crazy, man. That gave me a new appreciation for like the athleticism that comes along with being a professional wrestler, bro. Like
Has
a lot
to.
of people get tied into, oh, it's fake, but bro, no, these are real athletes. Like I'm watching them
Mhm.
flipping off of stuff and jumping from crazy distances on the stuff and doing double backflips. Like it's crazy to watch it up close. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
these are like some freaks of nature as far as like being athletic
Yes. And
and how close they come with hurting each other. Like,
yeah.
yeah, it's you can really one wrong move in that situation, it's bad for you. So man, yeah. So shout out to them. Shout out Montez for hooking up us with the tickets, and shout out my boy Cassius. But that was dope, man. One thing that came up in that though, and this was a time where I really felt 31. Let me tell you. All right, and I don't know if this is just a me thing. It might just be a me thing because people around me were older than me, and they knew who this person was. So
Mm.
so we're on the floor. We're on the third row, and then there's another row. There's two, and then there's one. In the first
Mm.
row, there's a woman with some of her friends, and then a young kid.
Yeah.
And and a couple people were like, I saw people tapping, like pointing, like, who was that? Oh yeah, that's such and such. So one of the people we were with was looking like, you don't know who that is? I'm like, no, who is it? You know what I mean? I'm thinking it's like a singer or like,
Right.
and they were like, man, no, that's Jada Waiter, right? And I was like, who? And he was like, you don't know who that is? Like, what do you mean? I'm like, nah. And he was like, so I'm thinking he gonna tell me like it's a rapper or a singer or somebody who
Right.
I'm not on. He was like, no, bro, that's little baby mom. And I was like, I like what else? Like I was so lost, bro. I was like
Yeah.
what else? Like, is there something else here that you're gonna tell me? Like, why do you know who his baby mom
Right.
is? And like it was just crazy. And then, but it was dope, man. They looked like they were having a ball. Apparently, that was little baby son. He looked just like him up there, but he was up
Oh, for
there.
real?
Oh, he was into it, man. Knew all the like theme songs. So seeing all the kids in there was just going crazy. But that just made me think about the topic of like, what is a celebrity today?
Mm-hmm.
And like,
Yeah.
do you think that celebrity, um, do you think the influencer
Mm.
do you think they're becoming bigger than the rappers today? Because like I said, this was the person I'd never seen who was apparently big on Instagram, Like I
Yeah.
said, is known for being associated with Lil Baby, but she's not a rapper. So it's like, do
Mhm.
you think that those influences are now bigger than the artists themselves?
I think sometimes they are. Like I think of like people in that type of space, like a Jada Waiter, some other notable names I can't even think of off top, but like I think of people like that. And unfortunately, like surprisingly, they are sometimes bigger than other artists. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
and it doesn't really make any sense because on paper, you think to yourself, like, they don't really have any distinctive talents. I'm not calling them talentless. I'm just saying they don't have distinctive talents. Like they don't have these over the top personalities. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how talented a Ryan Seacrest is for real, but I know he has a personality, and that in and of itself is a gem. Like that can be a talent that's harnessed. So
right.
yeah, bro. Like it's crazy. It's like certain people, what I realize, you're just well known. I think we throw celebrity around a lot. I'm just saying, like, those type of people, they're just well known. Like they have 1 million followers, 2 million followers. You just happen to be a known name. But like celebrity, I think we throw that around too much. But the reality is that's quite literally the definition of celebrity.
I was
So
just about to
to
say, is
conflate the
this
two is just like nitpicking at that point.
is it
Yeah.
the celebrity is being well known? People are excited to
Yeah.
see you. They want to take pictures with you. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't. That's why it's like it's interesting. And like I said, I felt old, man. I was like, man, I'm out of touch with this one because I was.
Yeah.
And I also am not somebody on Instagram who follows Instagram models, and like that's
I
not.
don't do
I
that.
don't follow the
Yeah.
Shade Room. I don't follow any of them type of platforms. So like a lot of that type of stuff, I kind of miss it just because I'm intentionally not tapped in with certain stuff. But I was like, man, y'all making this 31 feel different because I don't know who this is.
And that's the thing too, is like if you don't follow the shade room, if you don't follow like certain platforms, like if you happen to know these people, it's completely not your choice. Like that's how that's how I feel. I know
Right.
Jada Waiter by mistake entirely, bro. Like that's not I'm not following rappers' baby mothers, bro. That's not what I'm doing. I've never been into that type of thing. So but one of my favorite like young artists, he has a song called Jada Waiter. So by virtue, I know who that person is. You know what I
Um,
mean? So it's actually
interesting.
funny. I don't think you would rock with it, but it's Lil Tyler. He I think he's from Tallahassee, yeah, Florida, and he's just
Okay.
like he like 18, but he's hard. He's just got some bangers. But one of them is Jada Waiter. He's obsessed with Jada Waiter, Ruby Rose, girls of that.
Yeah.
You feel
And you
me?
know what? I would say it's the same thing because I know Ruby Rose's name, but I know her also from like being referenced in songs. So
She's a
maybe
rapper too. Yeah.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
So I guess so yeah, they've become more of the. I mean, I guess there's always been video vixens and stuff that
Or
people
it
hear about.
girls. Like I would say those are like
Yeah,
it girls, you know what I mean? Like Sweetie is a rapper too, but for me, she's not very musically inclined. Like I think she's more of a personality. That's a nice way of saying her music is
that's
exemplary.
crazy.
Yeah, I
That's a
double
crazy
down
way to
on it
say it.
too. You feel me? But to each his own,
I
bro.
feel like
Like
this your second shot thrown at her on this podcast.
it has to
I feel
be.
like she caught a stray on another episode.
The reason being is because like I just don't like when people take like really classic songs, sample them,
Yeah.
and then do some like sweetie thing to it. Like I don't like that. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of tight, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it's crazy that now, bro. Isn't it wild seeing like songs that we grew up on now being sampled?
yeah.
Like,
No, it's
like
crazy.
it's to me, it's insane to see like people like sampling like Nelly or like people are
Yeah.
like sampling like stuff that I'm like, that ain't even like that. Oh, are you sampling something from 10, 15 years ago? Like,
That's what I'm saying. It's not even that old to be sampled, in my opinion. I'm like, no, you got to safeguard that. Like Sexy Red, and again, certain things you hear or listen to or see by accident. This is another one of those because I'm not following a Sexy Red, but she just sampled a song. She sampled Gucci's "I Think I Love Her." Like she just sampled that, bro. That came out in like what, 15 years, maybe 15
yeah,
years
I
ago.
think I was in high school when that song came out.
Yeah, like I'm like, bro, you sampled that like for what? And of course, she's gonna do a Sexy Red thing to it, and it's like,
But
bro, uh,
even like Glorilla, like sampling "Wipe Me Down," like these are songs that I'm like,
yeah,
man, y'all are sampling songs that's not even 20 years old yet. Like,
and classics, and then you know what I mean, like not really upholding the standard, like you know what I'm saying, like yeah,
yeah. So I definitely understand. Now I know how like our parents' generation feel when they hear like the stuff from their era sampled.
yeah,
And now, because I remember my mom got so mad when she heard Migos sample "Papa Was a Rolling Stone." And I remember it came on, and I remember my
Yeah.
mom's face was so mad. She's like,
Yeah.
"Why would they do this to a Temptation song?" And I was like, "Ma, like." But I thought it was okay, but my mom was like, "Nah," like she was offended
Yeah.
the fact that
I
they did this to the Temptation song, because
I
he took the
can't
whole
blame her.
beat.
Yeah, they did take the whole beat. Actually, I now that song is playing in my head. I thought they did decent though
I
with it.
thought it
I
was
thought they,
decent, yeah, but my mom,
yeah,
it was the vulgarness of it, like the
yeah,
way they were talking over it, it just threw her off. And my mom like rap
yeah.
music, so it
Hmm.
she was like, nah, like this
Yeah.
ain't it. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting. But yeah, man. So it good birthday weekend overall, though, man. Definitely,
Mhm.
definitely was solid. We got a lot of music to get through today.
Yeah, we
Really
do.
one big album to get through.
Mhm.
Now I'm gonna start it off with this.
Mhm.
You know, we've spoken about on this podcast. I am not, and I never was
Yeah.
I Future Wolfgang, none of that. All right,
Mhm.
was not my bag. And it's crazy. I randomly looked it up today. Tyler the Creator is older than I am, and I don't know why. For some reason, I thought he was younger. But
Mhm.
I looked it up, and like I've said before, it was almost clownish to me when I looked at it at my age
Back in
when
the
it
day,
came
yeah.
out. Yeah, you were
Mhm.
probably younger when it came out, so you were able to
Mhm.
vibe with it a little differently than I was. When I saw them come out, I was like, "What is this?" But and this is my first time actually listening to a full project by anybody Odd Future. I
Mm.
don't know if Frank Ocean is considered Odd Future. I'm not sure. I
He
know
was
he
a former member, I
okay.
think, or at least an affiliate at the very least. But I never thought of Frank Ocean as our future. I always thought of him as someone who hung out with Tyler and they were really close. But he
Okay.
technically was our future. Yeah.
Okay. So outside of Frank Ocean, I've heard Frank Ocean's full projects, but I've never heard any of the other rappers on in that
Mhm.
camps for full bodies of work. And I'm gonna say this: Tyler the Creator just recently released his album that he had been previewing and rolling out for a while.
Mhm.
It is called uh, Chromacopia.
Chromakopia, I think.
Chromacopia.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna be honest, I was
Mm.
shocked listening to this album.
Yeah.
And I was shocked on a lot of different sides. One of the sides I was shocked on was number one, the production is crazy on here. And when I started looking at some of the names on here, I see why. Like
Mhm.
there are he pulled out some big names as far as even just as far as who's playing instruments on this album.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as I was going through, that's definitely one thing that I noticed. Thundercat being one of the person who played a lot of the guitar and bass
I
on a
love
lot of the songs on
Thundercat.
there. Whenever Thundercat comes around, you already know it's serious.
Yeah.
But I mean, different writers from Daniel Caesar, different vocalists that I was going through and looking at some of the names on it, and I was like, oh no, this was an expensive album to produce, and I can tell by the way it
Mhm.
sounds, man. Overall, I was shockingly impressed with the album. Like I said, I've never listened to a full
Mhm.
Tyler the Creator album before, so this is me stepping in just completely blank slate, no expectations at all. And I mean, there's some songs over here that I really like, and I'll get to those in a minute. But what were your overall thoughts on the album?
Listen, man. I've been a Tyler fanatic really since, and on a earlier podcast, I actually said Flower Boy. It's really Wolf. I would say Wolf, which came out in 2013. I've been like hooked on Tyler's sound. He's one of those creative people, like when it comes to composition, writing, producing, the whole gambit. Like he just does it so well. And when you listen to a song, you know it's distinctly him. Very few rappers I feel like have that quality. Tyler is one of those top tier artists or rappers who have top tier artistry. Like he takes chances. He uses offbeat vocals and like off kilter, like, instrumentation to really like bring some of his rapping skills, which are also top notch, to life. And he has like what you would think is odd collaborations, but when you actually listen to the song, you like, I see what you did here. Like you have one of those minds, bro. It reminds me, not to the same level, but it kind of reminds me of Pharrell. It's like almost like a just a unique genius about it. Um, and like you either love it, you're drawn to it, or it kind of rubs you the wrong way sonically, cool, whatever. But when you hear them, it's distinctly them. So Chromatopia, I hope I said it right. Chromacopia, sorry, is like another great album, bro. Like I listened to it and I was like, this is a pleasant album. Like that's all I could think of. Like it almost, I know the cover art. You know what I mean? Like Tyler does that creative things where it's underpinned with like these unique ideas that only Tyler can really think of. So it kind of it may take certain listeners out of the project, but
Yeah.
like from Igor to like I said, Flower Boy, Call Me If You Get Lost, like he has some of those similar like musical notes, bro, and I love it. And I've
Yeah.
loved it for a while. So some of my favorite songs, we can talk about that is uh let me see. I think Darling I'm a big Tizo Touchdown fan. So him and Tyler collaborating, bro, already on paper, that's a win for me. But actually listening to it, I loved it. I love Hey Jane, Judge Judy. I didn't think I would like this song because a particular artist is on it. I think you know where I'm going with it.
I already know.
Sticky. I love Sticky, bro. Like
Yo.
I love, and the thing that I really appreciate in this album, his songs are usually multi-layered, like whether it's thematic or musical, whatever, a mixture of both. But like the way the beat shifts and the themes kind of alternate, bro. Like I just love it. Because it takes you in on like almost like a roller coaster, like musical experience. You feel me? And I think Sticky even did that for me. As well as other songs on this album. I love seeing Doechii on Balloon. Like, you know what I mean? I love him and Schoolboy Q, who typically they make great songs when they do collaborate. He's on Thought I Was Dead. So, bro, I love this album. To me, we can talk about where it lands for me as far, and it's still early. It only came out like a day ago, at
Yeah.
the point of this recording. But yeah, like I love it, and I think it's one of his best works, bro.
Nice, nice. Yeah, man. On first listen, I like I said, I don't have anything to compare it to, but
Mm-hmm.
definitely were a lot of standout songs on here for me that I thought were dope. Like Ratata hard.
The tie, yeah.
Like that one stood out for sure. A lot of good storytelling on the album that I definitely noticed.
Mm-hmm.
Um Hey Jane definitely won.
Yeah.
I Killed You. Take Your Mask Off, I thought was a dope, great song.
Yes. Yes.
Thought I Was Dead, I loved. And I'm gonna be honest, Sticky was crazy. Let me tell you, I that was one of them songs that I didn't want to like, but I was in the car like, yo, this is crazy. Like
Mm-hmm.
super creative, produced well. Everybody comes in just at the right point. Like
Mm-hmm.
a genius concept. Like it really sounds like somebody in a cafeteria beating and rapping along. Like it's crazy. And Wayne goes crazy for like a good 8 bars, goes in.
Mm-hmm.
Like Glorilla voice sounds dope on it. Like it's really that song I was really impressed with. Like that was one of the more entertaining songs I've heard in a long time. Like I was
Mm-hmm.
actually like fully drawn to it for the whole 4 minutes or however long it was. Um, Dope, man. Judge Judy I like too.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. There was more that I liked on here than disliked. There's a few on here. Sometimes Tyler the Creator, like I said, a little weird for me. There's certain lines he says that
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, all right, that's corny. Like there's certain stuff in there I'm just not gonna feel.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like there's a lot of creative lines in there. There's a lot of bars in there. The rapping on here is actually really, really good on a lot of these songs.
Amazing. Yeah.
Um, yeah, man. I like I said, I was thoroughly impressed by the whole album. And this to me sounds, and of course, unfortunately, I almost think he should have put this out earlier this year because this definitely probably would have been Grammy nominated, and it probably will be for the next go round, for the
Mm-hmm.
next Grammy cycle because
Yeah.
it sounds like one of those albums. The amount of like things he talks about, the production, is just a really high quality album. So like I said, listening to it, man, I thought I was gonna be able to come in here when we thought about Tyler the Creator dropping. I thought I was gonna be able to come in here and talk crazy, but I'm not able to because I
Yeah.
liked it. Like there's a couple songs in here that definitely got added to my playlist. Like it's a solid part. And as somebody who, like I said, wouldn't typically listen to this I almost want to say this genre of not even genre is not even the word I'm looking for, but this type of rapper.
Mm-hmm.
Like Tyler the Creator, even though he's a dope rapper, he opened the door for a lot of goofy stuff to come in hip hop. I don't think we get a
Did
six
he?
nine if there's no Tyler the Creator. I don't think we get. He kind of was the first troll. I don't think. I think Tyler the Creator
Mm.
was the first like person who was like, I'm just a full troll. I'm gonna say crazy stuff and just
Mm.
shock value artists. You know what I mean? Where it's just
Mm.
like people are tuning in initially because you're saying something shocking or off-putting or whatever the case may be. At least he's the first one I could think of that was like that.
I
Um,
think I don't know about musically. I would say like he brought oddball like personalities in this new kind of legion of artists. Like, because obviously you had like somebody like a ODB, right? Like he had personality. Like
that's
there was
true.
personalities far before Tyler, but I think like his kind of personality, like he calls himself Felicia the cat. You know what I mean?
See what I'm saying? Goofy
On
stuff.
on social media or whatever, and he just says weird stuff. Like he'll be like, "Yo, he'll tweet like." We just had too much access to a young Tyler the Creator. I think that's really what it was. Like he'll
Yeah,
tweet about his farts and everything. You know what
yeah, he was the kid
I
sniffing markers, man. You know what I mean?
mean? He was
You
a
know what I
little
mean?
different.
He was the kid running down the hallway with a cape on. You know what I mean? He was that kid. That
Yeah.
everybody had one of them. Everybody had a him in their school. You know what I'm saying? He just
Yo.
happens to be really great at music, which is
Yeah.
dope. And it's almost well, I guess it's a double-edged sword because it's like on one hand, you're like you hear him now talking about how he's not necessarily appreciated in hip hop, but
Hmm.
it's like it's because you came out doing goofy stuff. So like, but at the same time, maybe he wouldn't have made it if he didn't do that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I
So
think
you
like
know,
that's one of his superpowers in a sense because like I'm not comparing him to Kanye, but in the sense that Kanye was looked at, especially when gangster rap was like peak. Like that was like peak. Like in
yeah,
the mid 2000s, really when he was like coming out and he was a kid with Louis Vuitton book bag and a pink polo with the collar flipped up, which is like some country club cornball stuff, but he made it work for him, right? And like, you know what I mean? Like his music backed it up. Don't get me wrong. You kind of can
yeah.
oversee a lot of that stuff, which was kind of considered a little unconventional at the time. Tyler was beyond unconventional.
I was just gonna say,
Let's start there.
Kanye
He's
was dressed
yeah,
preppy, dressing
yeah,
preppy, and doing pranks and coming on social
yeah,
media talking like really just being a troll. It was
yeah,
it's different. It's
yeah,
different. And I think that took away, like I said, it took away people who are traditional hip hop fans, like somebody like me would didn't listen to him just because that was his imagery. And he, like I said, he even had a whole TV show of that.
yeah. Whole TV show. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like not, but so a lot of people didn't tune in, but at the same time, he was able to build a fan base that
Hmm.
was younger. You know what I mean? And I feel like he built a younger fan base, probably of the age group that you're in, about that who probably like 26, 25 to 27 now
Yeah.
are, y'all were young. I was like already a teenager, so I'm looking at him like, well, I was already not even a teenager. Yeah, I was already like in high school when he came out, so I'm already looking like, what is?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you're
Like
like in
bro
middle
had
school, it's probably funny to you. It's like, oh, this is
like
entertaining.
like bro had me rocking like some Perry Ellis, like almost like off like weird
Nah,
printed shirts with the like skinny
bro,
khakis and
you,
the bands, bro. Yeah.
bro, you was buying the bro. So you actually would have won in buying that stuff that's in Zoomies.
I was. If
I
I could
need
afford
pictures
it, I could.
ASAP. I need
Yeah.
pictures ASAP.
Yeah, if I couldn't do Zoomy, I definitely couldn't do Zoomies. I don't even know why I'm acting like I made purchases there, but definitely like on some Marshalls, TJ Maxx. Like if I could find an alternative, bro, I was in there, bro. I was grabbing it straight off the rack.
Yeah, I always wonder who was buying them shirts with the donut on it, and that was you with the socks with the okay.
Yeah, yeah. I was on that type of time, bro, with the dad hats or like whatever on top of it. But yeah,
Yeah,
I think Tyler is underappreciated, bro, because a lot of people don't look at him as like again a traditional hip hop artist because he's
right.
not. Like he's like he's um carved out this niche like alternative rap like kind of like subgroup or subgenre, and he has for a while. He's
Yeah,
occupied that for a while.
absolutely.
He's occupied it really by himself too, so I think that's why he's kind of like, you know, kind of dismissed a little bit earlier, or a little bit too common, or a lot more often than he should, I should say. But yeah,
If
like
I
I
knew he
love,
was making music like this, I would have tuned in.
for sure. He's been making music like that. And again,
If I
you're
knew,
not you weren't hooked to like our future like took you away from that. Like I get it.
yeah,
Like if you listen to Tyler for a while, he's been sounding like this for a while. Like this quality to me has been here since I would say post Cherry Bomb. Cherry Bomb came out in 2015. So I think for the last nearly decade or so, he's been cranking like some
mm,
really high quality, just amazing music. There was a song on here I actually wanted to ask you about. Also wanted to make a comment on one. The thing that I didn't like about it's one song on here. I'm trying to think of it. I think it's um maybe it's Balloon. I don't know. But anyway, there's a song on here that I'm like, the mixing is really bad on here. That was the mistake
Yeah.
that Cherry Bomb had. And I'm a little discouraged to see that one of these songs is just mixed like really bad. I think
Yeah, I know.
again, Tyler's
I can't remember which
superpower
song it
savvy.
was, but I remember running across it.
Yeah, I was just like, why did you make the levels like this? You know what I'm saying? Like, but other than that, one thing I wanted to ask you about is him saying like he's the best. Basically, he's the best thing in LA, like alongside Kendrick, like to come out of the West Coast or LA or whatever it was. I forgot the exact line,
I think he
but what's your
said,
thought?
I remember that. I remember him saying something like,
Mhm.
"I'm the best out the city after Kenny." That's a fact.
Yeah.
Something in that
Mhm.
range of him being the next. And I wanted to tell him, "You're lying." Okay, right now, no, after this
Wow.
beautiful review I just gave, stop it. Okay, no, you stop
Yo.
right. Actually, I haven't listened to all his music to say that, but from
Yeah.
this, stop it. Now,
I can make an argument, bro. I can make an
uh,
argument that
uh,
he's one of the best out of LA.
but
But then you got
but
to think about who's
brother,
out of LA, bro.
I
Yeah,
was just about brother.
yeah.
That means you're saying you're better than like, and I guess we got to define better
Yeah.
because if you're talking about rapping, no.
Or if we're talking the whole package,
Are we talking
who
about sales? Yes, probably, or like fame, probably. No, because you're not more famous than Snoop Dogg. You're
I
not
don't
more.
I hope he doesn't mean
You're not
like
more
of
famous than
all
Ice Cube.
time.
You know. He said out the city. That would mean the
If
L.A.
he's talking like
Are
historically,
you talking about now? Like at the
I'm
moment?
thinking he's talking about now.
There's an argument for right now. If he's talking
That's
about
what I'm
now,
saying. Like
oh,
there's an
okay.
argument for right now.
If you're talking about right now out of Cali,
Mhm.
he probably is the next biggest artist after.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody that's as
Yeah,
big as him. Like Vince, of course, Vince is big.
Vince
Like,
is
don't
nowhere
get
near
me wrong.
big. Vince is nowhere near
That's what
big.
I'm saying. Like, he's nowhere near like a Tyler. Like to me, like Schoolboy Q is big. Like he's big. He's a big
Yeah,
artist,
but
but
no,
he's not topping. You know what I mean? Like
he's not even
if
selling out any of the places that. Yeah, he might.
yeah,
If we're talking about, I thought you meant all time.
no, I don't think he's that foolish.
I was just gonna
Like,
say no,
yeah,
no, because I was
mm,
gonna say now. Pac ain't technically from LA, but
yeah. I mean,
still.
that's a whole different
But
ball
if
game.
he's talking just solely right now, active
Mm.
rappers,
Yeah, I think he's
yeah,
up there. Like,
I think he's right. And I thought the bar was hard, by the way, when he said it.
oh yeah, he's like he got a lot of quotables on here. I like this is how I like to think of like when artists say, "Oh, I'm the biggest." I think if you put like a lot of these artists in one festival at the same time, at the exact same time, their set is at the exact same time. It's at 9:15 p.m. Where is the crowd going to gravitate towards most? Period. If
Well. Hold on. What festival?
Okay, everything is neutral. It has to be neutral. Like we're not
No,
talking about a Coachella or like you know what I
no,
mean,
I'm
or
not even
Camp
talking about.
Flog Gnaw or something like that.
I'm talking about is it a white crowd or is it a black crowd?
Well, I'm gonna
Because if it's Roots
uh,
Picnic, they ain't going to see Tyler. Let's be clear. They're
mm,
not. It's gonna be 50 people there. Let's be real.
yo. Well, I have news for I know our listeners know this. Outside of like a Roots or one music festival in Atlanta, most of them is white.
That's a
I'm gonna
fact.
be honest,
Almost
bro.
all the big ones,
Yeah,
Lollapalooza,
most of them
Coachella,
are white.
most of them are. So if yeah, so if you're not talking about black hip hop, if it's a black hip hop crowd, absolutely not. But
Yeah,
if it's a white one, yes, I would agree.
yeah. If it's a mixed crowd,
If it's
like
a predominantly white crowd, then yeah, it would be Tyler the
uh,
Creator. And I think that's another thing that that certain artists like a Tyler the Creator, like a Donald Glover,
mhm.
some of them aren't as big in the culture as they are in amongst the masses or the
Yeah.
dominant society being white people, the majority.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and it is what it is. Their music just hasn't resonated the same
Exactly.
in different circles. Like you're not gonna hear Tyler the Creator's music a party that's predominantly black. Now this album, it seems like he was more intentionally about including artists that it might bleed over into the culture a little bit more. So I don't know. Some of these I
And
think could stick around.
and his last album, like it had
Yeah.
DJ Drama hosting it. I was like,
Right.
but you don't see at all. Like he
Right.
was like, wait, you had a DJ to host a album, bro? Like it's
Yeah.
different. So
It
I
seems
think
it seems like he's trying to appeal to the hip hop crowd more.
yeah, and I think it's all already embedded in him, but I definitely see what you're saying. Yeah. More
Yeah.
conscious effort, maybe. Maybe
Yeah,
on
a,
it.
little more kind. Like I said, I haven't heard his other albums to like I said compare it, but based on this one, man, like I said, hard. Like I was listening to this, I was like, I am shocked at how much I like this album because I just like I said, I went in there with a blank slate, so I didn't know
Hmm.
that he was producing this level of music
Yeah,
and that his rapping was this good. To be honest,
bro.
like
He's sharp, bro.
the storytelling on there was really, and like I said, even though some of the actual content might not resonate with me as much as far as the stuff
Hmm.
he's talking about, but I can still acknowledge that it's well produced, well written,
Yeah,
it's just solid. Yeah. So I don't have much to say, but I will recommend everybody listening to Sticky Man. If you just listen to it one
yeah,
time, if you've never listened to Tyler the Creator, if you're like me, if you're like Earl, you already heard this. If you already was
yeah.
on Tyler and you already know his music, but if you're somebody who's never listened to any of his stuff, man, this is an album that I would say you can jump
Mm,
in on and you'll like it for
for
sure.
sure. Another song I want to bring up before we go by is like because I liked it so much. I kind of had the idea that he would go this creative direction based on the cover art. The song "Take Your Mask Off," like where he was
Yeah.
basically
Oh
telling the
man.
folks like, "Yo, stop the fake tough guy stuff. Like, stop the fake gangster stuff. Like, be yourself, bro. You're a great guy, bro.
Mm.
You're a respectable young man,
Yeah.
young lad, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the part that I was really rocking with, bro. Like, people need to hear that, bro.
People,
So,
that
yeah.
message needs to go out a lot more.
Yes.
Stop
Yes.
it. Stop it. You
Take the
do
mask off.
take
Yes,
off the
sir.
mask and just be you. You are a nice, wholesome young man
Mm-hmm.
and
100%.
always have been. So stop. And
Right.
I grew up with a lot of people who needed that message. I grew up
No,
with
they
some people
do.
who they had no business getting involved in stuff they were getting involved in. They knew they didn't have any business,
Mm-hmm.
but they were putting on that mask. So that was a song I really liked too for that same. I love that. I think that messaging is needed a lot now
Absolutely,
today
bro.
because there's a lot of kids who grow up who think they have to try to be a certain way
Mm-hmm.
because whether it's because of that's what they view as being a man or
Yep.
being tough. Their
Mm-hmm.
idea of what masculinity looks like, I think is interesting, um, an interesting perspective.
For sure.
He took it a couple different directions in the
Mm-hmm.
song, but
Yeah.
I definitely like the overall message. I thought it was a fire song.
Absolutely, man. More
Yeah,
music, bro. What else are we like talking about? Because there's a lot.
there is a lot of music
Yeah.
out, man. We one thing that we want to talk about is DMX, man.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you are, but I am a huge DMX fan.
Mm-hmm.
Always have been. DMX is one of the first artists that I snuck to listen to.
Mm.
Um, Shout out my cousin Nisi. I definitely stole her album. She had "It's Dark and Hell is Hot." I definitely stole it
Yeah.
and listened to it. I probably was like 7, 8. I had no business listening to this, but ever since then, man, DMX's music is always been both both just passionate and just very vulnerable
Yeah.
as far as his messaging and what he was talking about, but also just very versatile as well because he had the hard songs where he was
Yes, bro.
he was talking that talk, but then on the same album, there'd be skits that were prayers all throughout the albums.
Mm-hmm.
Um, dropped 2 number 1 albums in the same year,
I was about to bring that up. That's
and ne-
different.
and this goes back to the Grammys messing up, and neither one of them won a Grammy.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Ridiculous, ridiculous. But um, just a one of one talent. You had a lot of artists who tried to mimic what
Mhm.
DMX was and just couldn't pull it off.
Yeah.
It's just an amazing artist, man, and an artist that was gone too soon. I use some of his songs in my class to this day. And in my hip hop course, they listen to songs like "Slipping" in the class.
Mhm.
They listen to "Lord Give Me a Sign" in class. Like there are certain songs that he's made that um definitely live on in my class and just that impacted people in a way. So it was dope to see that he has a posthumous album that is coming out called "Let Us Pray" Chapter X DMX. Um,
Yes.
what do you think about posthumous albums in general?
I think I feel a couple ways about it. So I think the and this might be controversial. I think some of my favorite. I'm not saying that. I think
Go
because
ahead.
I'm thinking
Nah,
about it.
you already
But
thought you thought it. You might as well say it. Go
I'm say, oh, I can say this. So one of my favorite posthumous artists and albums are all by Tupac, bro.
Oh no,
Like I'm willing to
that's
say that because
no, that's nothing wrong with that.
Machiavelli, like the
Yeah,
7 Day Theory, technically dropped after he passed. Think
absolutely.
about it. Life after death, although it was a 2 week period, literally, it came out after Biggie passed. So it's not
Facts.
technically posthumous, but technically it kind of,
Technically, it is. Yeah.
yeah, more technically it is. So I think it's like, I think it's great, bro, because in a lot of ways, like I listened to even like Tupac's Resurrection posthumous album, what came out, and I believe 2002. Like I still listen to these projects for a lot of uh, a new generation of hip hop artists. Like they're listening to these artists for the first time through these posthumous albums. So
Right.
I think it carries on their legacy. And more so, like for those that have been long time fans of these artists, it makes us, regain that spark when we first heard them. Although they passed, we still get that level of excitement. You know what I mean? Like listening to them in new ways or with new beats. You know what I mean? So I think they're definitely like quality things to release because it rekindles those memories that we have or new memories shared for those that are listening to these artists for the first time. Yeah, for that.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I think that there have been some of those albums that are impactful, and I definitely think Pac is one who comes to mind. Where it's like he's some of his biggest songs that are most well known came after he passed. Like people don't even realize Hail Mary came out after Pac passed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I believe Changes came out after Pac passed. They used some
Yeah.
verses from other songs, but it actually released after he passed away. So a lot of the songs that are now have become almost just pretty much more well known
Hmm.
songs by Tupac are a lot of times songs that came out after he passed away, which is dope in itself. I think
Yeah.
it's cool to be able to say like he had so much music recorded, that he put
Yeah.
out music. His music that came out after he died is better than some people's music that came out while they're living.
Literally. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people's. So and I think Tupac is one of those, and I'm hoping that we get the same thing with this DMX album, man. And sometimes I think that they overproduce some of the songs that people made before they died. I have seen that as well. I think that they did that with a lot of Biggie songs that I
I
didn't
think
necessarily
so.
like, where they kind of overly produced it and they put everybody and their mom on the songs, and
Mhm.
it's and they make the beat too new school and put a older verse on it, and it just doesn't really work. So I
Mhm.
think it has to be the right people around,
For
the,
sure.
the right producers, the right engineers to really make it work. Because I have seen it go wrong too.
Yeah,
I
for
have
sure.
seen some people put out some work where I was like, they didn't release this for a reason. Like, why are y'all just rolling all of this
Yeah.
stuff out? So, and that's another people. Some people are against posthumous albums just because of that reason. They feel like if the artist didn't put it out, it wasn't their wish for it to be put out. So that's also another argument that some people have where it's like, um, if they thought it was good enough to be out, they would have released it.
I guess, but like I ain't trying to hear that from anybody. Like certain estates are gonna handle certain things.
I want it anyway.
You're right. Now, if it's in a situation where the artist's family isn't reaping any benefits from this,
Oh,
that I can
disgusting.
understand because
Yeah.
then it's like, what's even the point? Like,
But
you know what
that's the case often,
I mean?
unfortunately.
Then I can agree with them on that front. Like if it's not actually benefiting the family, those that especially if it's a tragic loss at that, bro, especially if they can't reap those benefits and are still enduring that emotional pain with
Yeah.
that, then I totally get it from that sense.
Unfortunately, that's often the case because a lot of artists don't own the rights to their music,
Mm,
and you have a lot of people who signed over their rights in perpetuity. And anybody who's ever signed any type of contract, perpetuity means forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and
mhm,
ever. So unfortunately, there are a lot of artists who passed away and who didn't own it in their estate aren't really reaping the benefits off of that music that's being released after their death. They will make a lot of artists are making the majority of their money off tours So
Hmm.
yeah, I agree. I think that that's when it becomes kind of predatory and just kind of just nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. But this one I'm looking forward to. They rolled out some of the features that are going to be on this
Let's
specific
talk about
DMX
that.
project.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg,
Okay.
Killer
Dope.
Mike,
I
which
like that.
MC Light. I was shocked to see that one.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we have some more faith-based ones that are on there. We have Lecrae,
Hmm.
um, Terrace Martin, you have Mary Mary,
Hmm.
um, Lena Bird Miles, and those are just the ones that they've rolled out thus far who will be featured on this DMX album. So we'll keep you all posted on it. The album is called Let Us Pray, Chapter X. So looking forward to hearing that.
Yeah, and we just reviewed not too long ago. For those that listen, we reviewed Rich Homie Quan's posthumous album too. It had
Absolutely.
favorable reviews on that end because he released like you said, so much music and quality music at that. So I'm hoping we can enjoy DMX's posthumous album all the same. So yeah, I'm excited about that.
Absolutely, yeah. And definitely looking forward. Hopefully, there'll be some well produced. By the names on this, it makes me more confident that it's going to be well produced.
For sure. Same.
Yeah. So that's a good sign. Couple other things we got to get through, man. One is Ice Cube. He did the pregame performance before the LA Dodgers game, and it seems like he's been doing a lot of their ads and stuff. What do you think about the rappers associating themselves with teams like that?
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Mhm.
I don't really have too strong of an opinion on it because I'm not a LA Dodgers fan, but I imagine like being a Cleveland Browns fan, unfortunately. I would say like it's cool when certain artists are like repping their home team, their hometown. I think it's just cool. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it's even that deep for them, but I see
Yeah.
how the partnership can work on both ends. So yeah, I think it's dope.
Did you see the Fat Joe performance? Did you see
No,
the
I
clip?
didn't.
He, I think they must have called him the day before. It's bad.
It was bad, bro.
It's bad. I mean, because he was trying to rap clean versions of it, and it was just not working.
Um,
He was trying not to like curse, but so
mm,
I would say it must have been a last minute call. Somebody must have backed out or something because you could tell he wasn't prepared for it at all.
that's crazy, bro. Come on now.
Yeah, and it's bad for it to happen on that platform, and it's on the spot when you have songs that are cursing or talking about certain things, and you're trying to like adjust the words in real time. It just looks
Right.
crazy.
It looks
Yeah.
crazy, bro. Joey Crack, man. Come on now. You know what I mean? But
What do you think about
it's
Fat
just
Joe? You like Fat Joe music?
honestly, to be honest, I haven't really dove into it that deeply, other
That's what
than
that
singles.
that- you that means. Look, that means what you really want to say. When you say honestly twice, honestly, to be honest, you know what you want to say.
I'm indifferent. Like I think he can make if he has the right pieces around him. Like I think of it as like in a sports analogy. Like he's an average quarterback, but if you got the right pieces around him, he can make magic happen. He can
Yeah,
win a couple rings, do a couple things. That's how I see Joey Crack. That's how I
yeah,
see.
yeah. Yeah, so he got a couple songs I like. I've never
Like
been.
Make It Rain, bro. That's a classic,
Make It
bro.
Rain was stupid. I remember
Classic. Lean back.
that was a
Oh,
classic Wayne. That was a classic Wayne chorus right there, boy.
oh yeah,
Make It
that's a
Rain.
classic Wayne. Period. Like that
Yeah,
was crazy.
yeah, Wayne. That Make It Rain. Lean Back was crazy, of course.
Crazy.
Um,
What
even
else?
all the way up was cool.
All the way up. Okay.
Yeah,
Terror
he got
Squad. Terror
Terrace.
Squad days.
Yeah, he got a few I like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There's another song that we listen to. Speaking of songs, we
Yeah.
have a song by Reason. For anybody who's not familiar with Reason, Reason was a TDE artist. He was
Hmm.
signed to Top Dog Entertainment. He no longer is. He's gone independent. Why I don't know. I haven't done enough digging to know why he left TDE. Maybe because maybe he wasn't the focus. I would imagine because it didn't seem like he really was.
Yeah.
But he recently wrote out a song called "I Thought You Loved Me" with Kaz and a rapper by the name of Buddy. What did you think about it?
So I like the record. I don't love it. I like it, but I'm not the biggest Reason fan. And I kind of understand, as you alluded to, I understand why he ventured away from TD because you're right, he wasn't the focus. He makes good music, but I don't really think it fit TDE's agenda or focus at the moment. It seems like they're going all in on Doechii, and they've been all in on SZA. You know what I mean? So I understand him wanting to venture out, do his own thing. Shoot, Kendrick did it technically. You know what I mean? So
Facts.
definitely see the reason why he ventured off. You know what I mean? Wow, I really did that live on
You
this pod.
did. You
But
did.
anyway, yeah.
You
But
couldn't help
anyway,
yourself.
yeah, bruh. Wow. I hope we can edit this out. It's cool if not. But anyway, nah, seriously though, I see the talent obviously has been there. Reason can rap. And I like the collaboration seemed like really seamless too with him, Kaz, Buddy. It was cool. Like I probably wouldn't play it again, but it's all right.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. I like the
Mhm.
concept. I thought there was
Mhm.
I thought it was a dope concept. I'm a fan of people. I like the back and forth rapping when there's a story being told, and they did a lot of that in the song. So I thought that was cool.
Mhm.
But I hear what you're saying. I think that it wasn't. It was a great concept. I don't necessarily know if it was executed the best. With
Mhm.
these three on the song, I expected it to be a little bit better. But I did like certain components of it, and I do like that they were very vulnerable and transparent with the
I like
lyrics,
that
what
part.
they were going through. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was a cool song to me. It wasn't. I didn't love it, but I definitely didn't hate it. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't ironically, I think that's the reason why, oftentimes certain artists fit better with major labels
Hmm.
because like I understand if it's just a single, right? Like, but if it's a Lucy, but if it's actually a single, a lead up, if you place this on the T expecting it to, do numbers, like I would say, nah, like this this probably wasn't it. It reminds me of a moment, and I think Wale was still on a major label, so I could be mistaken, but I remember he released a song with Lil Wayne called Fumble, if I'm not mistaken. And I said to myself, why would you release this? You know what I mean? Like certain artists have this attachment to their music, and so they can't really see past it or beyond it. I'm not saying this is the case with Reason. I just see that in other artists. But it's a cool song.
You know what artist I felt that way about
Who?
when Tootsie Slide came out.
Yeah, yeah. Why would you release that?
How did this make it past a group of people?
Like confidently.
Like,
Like we talking,
there was multiple
yeah,
people who was like, "Yeah, this fire." Whoa,
bruh, bruh.
I couldn't
And
believe
I
that song was
yeah.
made.
And I get why. This is the only reason I'm shooting Drake bail on that one, is because it was the pandemic. TikTok was popping off. So he wanted to do a dance song. It's still weak,
Nobody
but
did.
I get
Nobody did that.
it. Bro, people did that. I'm not gonna lie. People did it. The Tootsie slide, John.
People was
Yeah.
hitting the Tootsie Slide, bro.
Not on my algorithm, but other people, I guess, bro. Not
I'm
on
sure
my
there was somebody. Maybe some kids was doing it. I don't
it's
know.
kid stuff, bro.
That
It's
one did not stick. When I first heard that song, I was like, "What are we doing here?"
I'll tell you what didn't stick. Honestly, never mind, but that's a whole nother
The whole
conversation.
project.
The
Yeah.
whole project. And people were like, that's why I like Drake stands, bro, because they will defend that album. I remember reviewing that album for Grammy.com. It was the first one I ever wrote for Grammy.com, and I was pooping on it, bro. Like in every aspect, bro. Like I was dogging that album because
I got to read this now.
yeah, bro. And yeah, but whole nother conversation for another day. But yeah, shout out to
Yeah.
Reese, though.
Yeah, shout out Reese, man. I'm still looking forward to his project. He wrote out another song that I actually did like a little bit more. We didn't review it on here, but the first song from that project that he rolled out, I actually heard it on Joe Budden's podcast because
Mm-hmm.
they played it as a sleeper. That one was hard. So
Mm,
um I'm definitely still looking forward to Reason's project, and it will definitely still be on the lookout. The name of the song was Whatever is the name of the other song that he released.
mm.
That one I liked a lot. So yeah, I definitely be checking out whatever he has next. Another person that's doing an album rollout, man. This your boy, Lil Uzi.
This is not my boy, bro.
This your, this
Yeah.
your boy, man. Lil Uzi got an album coming out called Eternal Atake 2. I don't think I've ever seen a take in a sentence before, but
I don't think I have either before him. Nah. Mm.
yeah, okay. And the cover art from the one I saw, I know there's like a video version, like now they're doing these covers that move and whatnot. But
Mm,
the main cover that I saw was like just a bunch of women, almost it almost looked like in a stand with their eyes glowing.
mhm.
Um, are you looking forward to it? Did you listen to the first a take one, Eternal
I
Take?
did, and honestly, because that was at a period where Uzi hadn't released like a solo album in a really long time. I don't think he released the album up to that point, and I want to say it came out. I don't want to be wrong. I want to say it came out in 2021. I could be wrong, maybe 2020, but the first Atake. But it had been years since he dropped Love Is Rage 2. Love Is Rage 2 is still my favorite personal Lil Uzi album. It came out in 2017, Jonas Fire. Um, but I think like with the Eternal Atake, I think it had a lot of good, but I think it was a bloated album. It had too many songs. I'm almost afraid this one will kind of do the same thing. I think Uzi is in a very interesting time in his career. Not that it's a bad place. He's not in a bad place. I don't think he's had a downslide in his career. I wouldn't say that. I just think like with the pink tape, like I don't think it lived up to his fans' expectations. And I don't think his other releases have either. And I think this one has to be big. I don't really hear too many rumblings about it at this point. You know what I mean? So who knows what to expect with this? But if it's anything like the first Eternal Atake, I think what would be a benefit is just trimming it down. This one is the new album is supposed to have 16 tracks on it.
Okay.
So maybe that'll do it in essence, but we'll see. I just think Uzi has to like really mature as an artist. I don't feel like I've heard a more mature, more seasoned, or more refined Uzi because the music he was making in years past it worked then. I don't know if it really works now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
See, this is why we have this podcast together. See how you was able to give a deep dive on Uzi. I don't got
Yeah,
nothing. I don't
man.
have nothing to add to this. I don't know anything about Lil Uzi music.
Yeah.
Other than the couple songs, all my friends are dead. I just want to rock those songs. I
Mhm.
don't know a thing about a Uzi project. And to be fair, for this is what Uzi looks like. There's
My
nothing
man
about
looked it up, bro.
there's nothing that's making me
Wow.
click on a song by this guy.
Yo.
Nothing, nothing. For the
Yo. And
people who are
him.
listening, I just had to show a picture of what Lil Uzi looks like and why I've never clicked on anything. Um, when you mix satanic stuff with
hmm
whatever that is sonically, I've never tuned in. But I did. He has had some catchy songs that are like hit songs. I like that. Like all my friends are dead was cool. Like when it came out, I was like, oh, this is a catchy
Yeah.
song. Like even I just want to rock. Like there's catchy songs of his that have came out that like are enjoyable for me. But
Mm,
I've never been like, let me listen to a little Uzi album. We can
bro.
do it on here one day though. When this one drops, you think we should review this?
For sure. I think we should review it. Because I think, again, he's in an interesting place in his career. Not that he's fallen off or nothing like that. I wouldn't go that far. Because I Just Want to Rock came out in 2023. That was just Grammy nominated this past Grammy award show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's definitely not falling off. But I think like he's
No.
at a point in his career where I think he has to switch things up. I don't think doing the Jersey drill or like I don't think that is going to work. I think he needs to like do something a bit different because I think what younger fans know of him is that he dresses crazy. He does these odd things on social media. But for someone who's actually seen him perform multiple times, like he's like a really good artist. It's just like all that other stuff kind of distracts you from it.
That's why I said we gotta blame our future for some of this, man. We gotta do it. The good, the bad, and the ugly. The good thing is
Right.
that we got more variety in hip hop.
Mm,
And
yeah.
I can't give them full credit for that, but I think that for this generation, they were kind of like Kanye and them did it for the generation right before that. Kanye and Pharrell just being a little different than the norm, and that they kind of just
Being
took,
different.
took it to
Yeah.
another level.
Ironically, I'm trying to think of like the genesis of like a Lil Uzi Vert. I
Like
don't
who
know if
like
I
the
could
the inspiration.
if I like, I feel like if you sat down and asked Uzi, because I haven't watched an interview with him in a while, but I watched him like coming up, like when drama was like right
I
next to
I, I know
him.
who it. I know who it
I
is.
would
I
say
know. I know who I would think.
probably Kid Cudi, maybe.
I would have said Wayne.
Wayne for sure, but I think Wayne and Cuddy combined because you know what I mean. Like everybody started getting tats from head to toe on the face, like everything like that,
We
and like the style too.
we
Yeah,
interviewed somebody for our book who made an interesting point about the like the pivot of Wayne shifted hip hop. Like when Wayne went from like when Wayne turned full rock star skateboarder, he opened up
yeah,
a door for I think like a Lil Uzi. I think
yeah.
because I think it made more people accepting of that image. Um,
Mm,
and I don't think that people necessarily were accepting of this whole rock star hip hop thing like
nah,
before Wayne kind of made that pivot.
I don't think so. Because people used to make fun of like rock rap. Like they used to make fun.
Facts.
Obviously, like the Run DMC,
Yeah,
Aerosmith,
yeah, yeah.
like that's a
Walk this
different
way.
thing. You
Yeah,
know
but
what I mean?
even then though, they were still even if you look at the video for that, like they were still them though. They weren't trying to dress
Exactly.
like Aerosmith.
Exactly. Even the Beastie Boys, like they used to combine like rock rap, but they were still
Yeah,
like hip hop adjacent, like still. Like, you
correct.
know what I mean? Like License to Ill, that's still hip hop, bro. Like there was
Right.
no mistake about that. So yeah, like the whole skateboard era, like the lip piercing, you know what I mean? Like the trunk fit, neon color rocking Wayne, or the Wayne rock album that he did, the Rebirth.
All
Like,
the crazy tattoos,
yeah,
the all like yeah, it was he definitely ushered in I would say that he's kind of the lineage of a Lil Uzi. If I had to say
yeah.
anybody, he's the one that comes to mind.
That's more accurate for
I
sure.
would say Cuddy as far as the sad stuff.
Yeah, I think like it's a mixture, but I think he's more Little Wayne leaning for sure. Even in the look, like they almost have similar characteristics in that sense. And I hate to say this, but it's just the truth. Like the whole lean drug culture, you know what I mean? That's to an extent. I don't want to place it all on Wayne, but that's the main
No,
influence, though.
absolutely. And I wouldn't place it all on Wayne just because Houston played a big role in that
For sure.
with the trio chopped and screw
Mhm.
era of music, the Pimp C's and all of them when they came out. They kind of were definitely pushing that. But I will say that just the complete druggy persona of like
Mhm.
looking like a junkie,
Like Junkie, yeah, for real,
that was Wayne.
for sure.
Because Pimp C and them didn't look like they were on drugs.
Mm-mm. Nah, they was players. Like they just had a,
Yeah,
you know what I mean, on some
right.
Don Juan like type of
Yeah,
talk.
they weren't pushing the like imagery wise. Of course, we don't know. You can't look like there's no way to necessarily. There are plenty of people who are addicts who don't look like they're addicts. But
Mm.
Wayne was the first one who was like you can look at him and be like, yeah,
Yeah, or hear him on an interview and
or
be
hear
like,
him.
yeah, something's off.
And we got to think about it. He did it when he was the biggest rapper in the world.
hmm
So that I think that definitely had a trickle down effect, and that's why like on one of Wayne's songs where he says, you know, face tats. I'm the apex, kind of talking about like how he influenced all. I can't remember which remix it was. It was him
Mm,
and I think it was a DJ Khaled song. Where
okay.
Wayne had a verse where he was talking about how influential he was, and I was like, yes, that is true, but is it for the better?
I would say no. Because like even like someone like a Soldier Boy, I remember somebody saying this, and obviously Soldier Boy, Lil Wayne have no real comparisons outside of maybe face tats, right? But I remember someone talking about like how Soldier Boy, especially when he was younger, had like his friend group around him who also happened to rap. Like they had a little conglomerate. And what set them back from maybe doing like TV shows, like how Our Future eventually did, was
Yeah,
the fact that they wanted to uphold that image instead of like maybe something a little bit more, you know, cleaner.
fun.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Fun, looser, like you know what I mean? Like so that
yeah.
was always an interesting thought I've had when it comes to like a Soldier Boy or even a Tiger to an extent who happened to have a reality show, but whatever.
Yeah, and I think that that's one bad thing about hip hop is for some reason there was a point where wholesome wholesomeness was kind of like viewed as corny.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
not to say that our fusion was wholesome, but I mean what I think of when I think of like wholesome or like not just clean, but like I think of like a Will Smith or
for sure.
like a Fresh Prince or like a Kid and Play or like
Yeah.
maybe it was that era of like really early 90s
Mhm.
or even late 80s like where there was kind of a shift where it was no longer cool to be there. Because I agree, like Soldier Boy's trajectory should have been completely different.
For sure. For
Like
sure.
like Soldier Boy, when I always say like on paper, and we're writing about this in the book, man. Soldier Boy come up is like not only just historic but completely innovative. And of
Yes.
course, it's become like a meme of like him saying he was the first at everything, but a lot of stuff he really was.
He was though. Like that's legitimate. He has a legitimate case for a
Like
lot
like
of
like
stuff.
putting like rap internet, like internet using the internet to blow up in rap, he is almost solely responsible for.
100%. Especially the way he did it.
Especially with YouTube. Like there were other
Yeah.
rappers on MySpace and were using other platforms, of
Hmm.
course, but the way that he used YouTube to really push his message and LimeWire and all of these platforms that people were new to,
Hmm.
um, while he was a teenager
Yeah. Yeah.
in Mississippi,
You feel
like
me? Yeah.
it's in any other setting you would call that person a genius, but
Yeah. But
yeah.
it's Soldier. It's Big Soldier.
He
That's
produced a hit record on a Fruity Loops demo.
a demo, bro. Not
Not
even a
even the
full thing.
not even the
Yo.
full. He used the Fruity Loops demo to produce Crank That.
Yo, put some respect on Big Soldier, bro.
Yeah,
That's what I
man.
say,
Yeah.
man.
We gotta put some respect on Soldier Boy, man. I don't even know
Hmm.
how we got here, but so it's been a couple times we found our way back to put some respect on Soldier Boy, man.
Bro, I feel like Bow Wow, like that's one thing we may like review an album, we may like pick certain parts out, whatever. We always gonna respect legends when they deserve to be respected, bro.
That's a fact. That's a
Give them
fact, man.
credit
Because
where credit is due.
yeah, man. Because these people are they made the soundtracks to our lives. You know what I mean? And I
Mhm.
think that it's very easy to discredit. Like while we review albums and songs and say what we like or didn't like, or that's all of course subjective. But
Mhm.
at the end of the day, like some of these people have really changed music. You know
For
what I mean?
sure.
And Soldier Boy changed the way that people put out music. Like the whole ringtone rap thing, like all of that, like
Mhm.
came out of that era.
Yeah.
And yeah, you gotta put some respect. And Bow Wow, man, you gotta put some respect on Bow Wow too. I don't even know how we got back to Bow Wow, but put some respect on Bow Wow too, man.
Bruh, I'm from Ohio. I'm gonna always have a reason to talk Bow Wow, probably. Like honest. Good, bad, or indifferent, bro. I'm gonna have a reason.
You gotta rep, man. You gotta rep.
Yeah.
You
I'm waiting for
have
him to
to.
rap, bro. He needs to do a better job of it, to
I was
be honest.
finna say I thought he was from Atlanta until you said it.
Bro, everybody thinks he's from Atlanta. He was with Snoop. People think he was from LA for a while. I'm like, bro, like actually represent Ohio, bro, because he was born and raised like briefly, probably 5 minute drive from my parents' house. Dead serious. So yeah.
Yeah. So he need to and that's the crazy thing is too, like, do you claim where like what age do you move out of somewhere to be able to claim it? Like
Mm.
there's artists who were born in a place who like I believe if I'm not mistaken, I think Ludacris was born in Chicago, but he moved to
Oh,
Atlanta.
what? I didn't know that.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Ludacris. Let me fact check it real quick.
Wow.
I'm almost certain.
Yo, that's interesting because as you search that, like always, people, I've
Yep,
always had
yep.
this.
He was born in Champaign, Illinois, well outside of Chicago.
Yo,
Suburb.
so I always had this thought with like a Tupac, for example, who was literally born in New York, moved to Baltimore, then moved to Oakland, then eventually moved to LA. But when people think of him historically, they think to themselves, for those that don't inherently know the story of Tupac, they think of him as an LA artist. When in
Because he
reality,
repped it.
you know what I mean? Because he repped it. When in reality, if you want to talk West Coast, he should be representative of Oakland if you want to like take it
I,
there. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
So
And I
yeah.
think that him claiming the West Coast as much as he did,
Hmm.
and his family's history with the Black Panther Party in Oakland and all of that.
Exactly.
I think he has become synonymous, but he became synonymous with LA for being with Death Row. So it's like
Exactly.
now when people think of Pac, they think of LA, which is interesting
Mm.
because he didn't move there to a full blown adult.
Literally, bro. Like, yeah, a full blown adult. And he didn't move out to Oakland until he was like a late teenager, too. So that doesn't even make any sense. You know what I'm saying? But I think like the age that I think of, I think once you, I don't know, in my mind, once you hit like puberty age, I think you from there, bro. Like, I don't think it makes sense to really, because those are your formative years,
That's
or
facts.
either right before, like really on the cusp of it. So in my mind, I'm like, nah, bro, like you're from wherever you're from. So even though Bow Wow left, like once he like, maybe a preteen or something like that, I still think of him, and I think he would admit it. He said this plenty of times, like he's from Columbus. You know what I mean? Like there's no denying that. But someone like a Lotto, for example, she was born, or the baby, he was born in Cleveland. He didn't grow up in Cleveland. Like he was reared in Charlotte. You know what I mean? So he's from Charlotte in my mind.
Yeah, yeah. If I agree. I think if you moved out of there by like definitely by at least like if you moved if you move somewhere when you after the age of 10, you from there. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Whenever you were old enough to go outside.
If you're old enough to go outside worrying about street lights when they dim or turn off, like, bro,
Yeah.
you're from that city. Like,
Yeah.
period.
I,
Yeah.
I'm with you there. I'm with you there. So certain people we want to claim, we can't even really claim some of these people.
Yeah, like Champagne can't claim Ludacris, bro. I think they know that,
No,
right?
they
Like,
can't. They can't claim Luda.
wait, how far is Peoria?
Champagne is not. Champagne is nowhere near Chicago, by the way.
Okay, how far is Peoria from Champagne? Is it
I,
far?
I think it's pretty far.
Never mind,
I don't think it's close.
because Richard Pryor's from Peoria, I
He
think.
is.
So that's their claim to fame. Like
That's that.
that's dope.
Oh, they got that. That it is about an hour, a little
Mm,
over an hour. Yeah, they are. They have a big statue of him right outside of Bradley University. Bradley University is in Peoria,
wow,
and they have a big Richard Pryor statue there.
that's
Yeah,
dope.
they put some respect on. They put some respect on Richard Pryor.
They better, bro. Legend.
Yeah,
Legend.
literally, like most people refer to as the greatest comedian ever. So
Literally him or I mean they
Eddie,
throw Eddie Murphy in there. I'm
Eddie
trying to
Murphy.
George Carlin. They also throw in George Carlin. I don't know if
Yeah,
you hip to Carlin, but
yeah. I used to use when I taught radio production back in the day. Man, I've been teaching a long time. If I knew people probably be thinking I'm old for real. When I used to teach radio production, I taught. I used to use his. He has a little bit that's about like this like curse words and like which words are okay versus not. It's like hilarious. But yeah, George Clark, he's funny.
he's funny, man. But yeah, bro, another great episode, man. Episode 17.
Yes, sir. Episode 17, man. Another great one, man. Make sure y'all are following us at Rap and Reason on Instagram. Make sure y'all are subscribed if you're tuned in on YouTube. If you listen on Apple Music, Spotify, make sure you're reviewing us. Show us some love, man.
Absolutely. And if you're watching, comment happy birthday, Jeremy. It's not too late to celebrate, bro. Do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's a fact. I'm claiming all the rest of the month till we hit November 1st. It's still my birthday out here, man.
Thanks, man.
Yes,
Until next
sir.
time, my boy.
Until next time, peace.
All right, peace.